So this is thank you for everybody who did try to participate in Mune's farewell raffle. Um, so here's what actually happened and why things had changed when we actually were trying to run this. 1,000 diamonds a piece would be a great move, uh, but in the alliance giving us criticism, saying nobody's going to buy them. There's too many and so forth, and there seemed to be some exactly what all that entailed. Um, One of the big factors with why I decided to scrap it was because of all the criticism I was getting, and also the fact that there was barely anybody actually partaking. I tried to run it for give or take a few days to see how many I would get. Um, but it wasn't very many. I think we got a total of 11 total uh, people who had purchased them. I think one person bought five, so technically it was only like six people. Uh, One of the big factors that went into canceling it was I talked to my other guild leader and a few of my guild officers, and they kind of talked about it, and we made the decision as a guild rather than anything else, because we were like, oh yeah, it's kind of important to, you know, do that. Um, Give me one sec. The major problem that I had when I was actually running the thing was the sheer amount of criticism. That's the main reason why I ended up canceling it. A lot of people were saying we're just out for ourselves, out for profit, and that doing a raffle, like no one should ever expect to get uh, a profit off of a raffle, which seemed kind of crazy. And somebody even recommended me. This was an officer from my guild to do uh, it at 500,000 diamonds per ticket, and only do 80 for the legendary pack. So I decided against it because it felt kind of like uh, that's all anybody would even go for, and none of the other items even mattered, and there was a big complaint about, well, think about everybody who lost, you know. Somebody even mentioned that. It's like, oh yeah, if you have 600 tickets and you have 20 prizes, what about the other, 580 that didn't get anything? And I'm over here thinking to myself, well, what happens when you have just a legendary pack and 80 tickets? You run into the same problem where you have 79 people without getting anything. That's a bigger ratio, honestly. Um, it's not good to kind of leave that out in the open. So what ended up happening is I ended up sending back or refunding everybody who participated. Um, for those that were unaware, I ended up telling them to repost their unsolicited advice for 120,000, which originally I was selling them for 100,000. So what ended up happening was I ended up getting shortchanged about 8,000 diamonds per person, because which is 12,000. So 120,000 minus 12,000 is 108,000. So each person got 108,000 diamonds back, and the person who bought five ended up getting back an extra 40,000 diamonds. So no big deal. I thought that was the right thing to do, but I'm gonna go a step further because it was my screw up. I was the one that ended up canceling it. I really wanted everybody to kind of get the benefit of getting everything or having a chance at it, but at the same time, did not want that to happen. I know I'm kind of like stumbling over my words a little bit, but kind of improving this for the most part. So as a courtesy, more or less, um, because of the screw up, I still have some of the prizes up for uh, the event. I'm gonna move around some stuff so that way we can kind of see more of what we're dealing with. My inventory is quite full, but at the same time not so full. I'm just gonna move these out of the way. I'm gonna use these eventually for possibly running NSVA or MSVA. We'll see. But the way this is going to work is I'm going to reward people based off my rolls again. It's just going to be like a regular raffle. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put it in to say, I'm going to adjust the recruitment to just system, that way, and say. Because it's a little bit easier. Okay. Where's say? Okay, there's say. Okay. So, I'm going to use the 20-sided dice, and we're going to determine winners on this raffle. Basically, the way it's going to work is the person who ends up getting first will get these 3 items. I know it's not much, but it's something. I mean, you can turn around and sell it if you want. Second highest will get a Dark Enchantment rank 5 stack. Third place will get a Azure Enchantment rank 5. Fourth place will get the rank 5 Enchantment of Silvery stack. And then 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and then last, which is 11th. Okay? Everybody's going to get something. Mainly because you guys contributed so much for me. So I'm going to go ahead and mark them down, the roles as I do them, but I'm also going to say who they are. First one I have is Firefly. Firefly was the first one, or sorry, the first one to buy and the last one to get a refund. So thank you so much. I'm just going to go ahead and say Firefly, because that's kind of cool. Let's see what you get, Firefly. I have to wait a second. Okay. So I'm going to roll this thing off. Let's see what we get. Firefly, you got an 18. Not a bad start. Number 2 on my list is Backpack. Backpack is part of my guild. He contributes quite a lot. He goes above and beyond. So we're going to go ahead. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Alright. I'm always so used to the L1. Alright. Well, that seems like a weird roll. But yeah, that's what it was. You got an 8. Awesome. Next up is Damia. Damia is a guild officer in my guild. He's a pretty good guy. It's a Damien Bloodwake. So, again, gonna go ahead and give it a... He got a 5. Uh-oh. Alright. So, next one, just kind of out of there, is Tiny Tim. Alright, Tiny Tim, pretty good guy. Yeah, he was the 4th one to actually buy one. I'm going in order of, like, purchases, so, just so everybody knows roughly when people actually did. You got a 7, man. Maybe this dice is just horrible. Alright. So, next one is Drow Fetish. I don't really know about this name, but yeah, whatever. Maybe they like drows. I'm not really too sure. But I've never played with some of these people, which is kind of disappointing. You got a 2. Wow, you might have gotten the lowest number there. I don't know. All right, so I have a few from this guy. This is Auroric. Yeah, Auroric. Okay, so he actually ended up uh, buying quite a bit. Let's see, Auroric Pendragon. All right, yeah. But he ended up buying 5, so we're just gonna go through these real quick. Uh, so his first roll, because he's a boss, he's got a 2. Oh, we got a tie. Okay. Auroric, number 2. Alright. Second roll for Auroric. It's a 13. It's not too bad. Auroric 3. Again, this guy did 5. So, 19. I don't know. Might be a high roll, unless somebody gets a 20 or ties. And then, where are we at? Auroric, number 4. Alright, let's take a look. And we roll 18. We got a roll off for second. And then last one for Auroric is a 5. Okay, so we do have a roll off with another number. Okay. And then the last one we have is J Shadow. Yeah, I think he was the last one to buy one. So this is the last of the individual rolls. So he got an 11. All right, so we have a few roll-offs that we need to do. Right now, we have Auroric in the first place. Congratulations, you will be getting the first few items. You've rolled the top. From there, we actually have a roll-off for the very last. So we're going to go ahead and go to the second part, which is the roll-offs. Okay? So roll-off 1. Oops. For Firefly. Roll off 1 for Firefly is a 12. Alright. Then the other person that they're rolling off against is Auroric. Like a pro. Alright, so gonna go ahead and roll them off. Is a 17. So Auroric, you have taken first and second place. Congratulations. We're gonna go ahead and go off to the next pair of roll-offs, which is Damia and Auroric. So give me a second. Roll off 1. Damia. So let's see what number he gets. Got a 5. Oh gee, that's a rough right there. And then Rorik, 1. Oops, that's not what I meant to say. Roll off 1. Rorik. Okay, so this is for the other tie he had with Damia when they both rolled 5. So go ahead and give it a roll. He got an 8. Wow. Okay, so let's see. Are there any? Oh yes, there are some more. So there's a little bit more. We have another tie for the last place, which is, well, next to last place, between Drow Fetish and Auroric. Go figure, right? Drow. So Drow Fetish, you get the first roll on this one. Got a 16. And then... Oops. Not mean to do that. And then roll off 1 for Rorik. Okay, so this should be the last roll off. I know it's a lot right there. So, without further ado, let's roll it off. See how well he does. Got a 10. Alright, so based off my numbers here, number 1 is Rorik. Congratulations. Alright. Number 2 is also Rorik. Number 3 goes to Firefly. Number 4 goes to Rorik. Number 5 goes to J Shadow. Was that right? Yeah, okay. Number 6 goes to Backpack. Number 7 goes to Tiny Tim. Number 8 goes to Rorik. Number 9 goes to Damia. Number 10 goes to Drow Fetish. And number 11 goes to Rorik. So, without further ado, I'm actually going to walk over to the mailbox over here because it's just so much easier to do this live on the air. I'm actually going to send the items to each of these people because I think they deserve it. Oh, I have stuff from the auction house. Just selling things. Alright, so first up, our winner for the event, which is Rorik. Oops, it cannot figure out who this is. It's Rorik Pendragon. At Rorik. Oops, can't spell. Rorik 78. Okay. Alright. Congrats on winning. Some stuff. The funny thing about this is that nobody knew that I was actually doing this ahead of time. So, things that Rorik won. He won the number 1 spot, which was a few items. That was all first place prizes. And then he ended up winning 2nd place, which is more enchantments. And then he ended up winning 8th place. So he gets a horse. So I'm just going to go ahead and send that. That is 1st through 3rd places. More or less. For him. Let's see. Did I count that right? 2, 3... Oh. First... sorry. He won... 1st, 2nd, 4th, 8th, and 11th. Okay, so I have 1st through... 1st, 2nd... I'm sorry. Yeah, 2nd and 4th. So 1st, 2nd, 4th. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and send those. And then we're going to go ahead and get that going again. Rorik Pendragon. Okay, that makes sense. Just gonna call it more, not Moe. So he won those, and then he won 8th place, which is that, and 11th, which is Red Vines. Okay, so that's all he gets. So we don't have to worry about him anymore. So 3rd place is Firefly. At Harry 09. So he came in 3rd, which is nice. Go ahead and send that. Alright, our 4th place has already been filled, so we're moving on to the 5th place, which is J Shadow. J Shadow at JW. Kind of cool. Make sure I get this right. JW. Prize for you. So he ended up getting 5th place. He gets a horse. Of course. Alright. 6th place is Backpack. I'm just gonna let that automatically fill because he's in my guild. Prize for you. So he gets a horse as well. Let's see. 7th place, Tiny Tim. I'm gonna make sure I have this right because some people like to put additional things in their names, and I want to make sure I did that right. He has kind of an interesting PSN ID. Bob. Okay. I think I said that right. I'm gonna go ahead and put it prize for you. Alright, awesome. He gets the other horse. Last of my horses. Then we already did everybody else there. So, just double checking who we're sending the next one to. We already sent that one. So Damia. Okay, there's another person from my guild. So Damia, you got my 9th place prize. So you were aware that the first place would start here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Lathander's do. You get 5 of them. I know you don't think that they're worth a whole lot, but hey, eventually they'll be worth like 2,000 apiece. So keep that in mind. They're actually kind of a cool item. They generate action points every 3 seconds for about half an hour. So awesome thing. And then our last two, or last one, because we already sent out the 11th one, is Drow Fetish. I don't know what guild they are part of, but again, it is Kalad. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Ergo. Collect Ergo. Which, sounds a little foreign. I don't know. I don't... Prize for them. So this is the last of the prizes. So yeah, here goes Lyra's Fair. It regenerates stamina. Again, these items that are coming from the Portobello's campaign, they aren't worth a whole lot right now. But if you sit on them, they'll eventually become worth a bit more. These are not worth as much. Just like what I gave for 11th place, it wasn't worth barely anything at all. So yeah. Yep. And so I've sent all those out. If you're wondering exactly what happened, you can just go and check out the video. I was trying to figure out exactly why I'm not getting any... No, that's not what I was looking for. Oh, maybe. Let's see... No. That didn't do it. Event contest. Was it a group thing? Was it other? Not self, was it? Maybe it was self. We'll have to take a look at this. This one gets a little weird. Oops. Not self. Friend? No, it's not friend or notify. Not. Yeah. There's a lot of different ways that you can actually do this, but I'm trying to see if there was actually a way to see if... Wow. Yeah, there's no way to check to see what the rolls were, or at least nothing I'm finding out. Let's try to turn these on. I'm going to turn the lines back off just to see if one of these things makes it so that the roll pops back up. Because it's just something I was kind of curious about. I was also testing out ways to... Yeah. So, there's no actual way to do that. So, that's a little weird. Generally, I don't keep anything on in here. I leave tells on, and that's about it on this thing. I'm still recruiting for our guild, but at the same time, like, that was kind of a one heck of a mess up on my part, not getting the right stuff to tab. But at least I did the rolls, and you saw them pop up on my screen. And if you want to recap, just go watch the video. It's nothing much, nothing spectacular, and like I said, I was completely at a loss for it. This was just something to say I'm thankful for those that did try to help out. So I went ahead and did that mini raffle for everybody who did already try to pay in, even though I did refund them their money and some. I even went above and beyond and gave them something else through the mail by rolling a dice. So thank you all so much, you 6 people. Let me double check. Is that 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 7 people. My bad. I'm bad with math. Apparently. Well, hopefully this was kind of interesting and a heads up for future endeavors for anybody else who's wanting to do a raffle for their guild. You may want to consider lower numbers and maybe not as expensive prizes because it gets kind of hectic really quickly. I do have the legendary pack, sorry, the Glorious Resurgence legendary pack, and I had been urged to do a raffle with that, but at the same time, I don't think that's really all that worth it, mainly because you get a lot of criticism either way, and 500,000 diamonds is a lot, or even 250,000 diamonds is a lot for a ticket to buy in for a legendary pack. because you're spending that extra money and not really getting anything. The reason why I originally went for the 100,000 is because I knew people could gain the money relatively quick, and I was kind of hoping that someone would actually get something kind of cool. So I already did the raffle. So if you're just joining, you will notice that real quick. I already mailed out everything that was to that. Uh, Again, it was for those that had already bought tickets and more like an apology in addition to refunding all of their money. So, uh, sorry it went that way, but that's just how it went. Some people may think of me as being a little bit too generous, going over the top for this, but I thought it was necessary to do this for those that did actually trust me and believe me when I said I was going to do a raffle. And in the end, I ended up doing a small one for those that did, even though I refunded their money. So hopefully that was in their liking. I'm not going to do any more raffles. That's my plan right now. Is no more raffles, mainly because that one just kind of really did not go well at all, and also that I'm not really going to be playing. So again, it's a farewell raffle. That's why I was advertising it as such, is because I was getting ready to more or less quit the game. I'm gonna have to make some adjustments on selling the rest of my stuff and contributing to my guild, which right now, if you have not seen our guild in a while, my guild is guild working on upgrading our quarry, and then our farm and mine, and then eventually to Guild Hall 12. We're just having a little bit of difficulties with our gems and surplus equipment, as well as a few dark gifts. So those are going to be our hard spots to actually go and take care of. So, but we're working on it, and I intend to give them as much as I can. As you can kind of see, I'm going to walk over to the coffer. Here's our Great Alliance. I cannot contribute anything because I don't have anything. I've donated all of my currencies. The only thing I can donate in gems is the rank 8, which I don't really want to do, and I have 2 pieces of equipment that I can donate. Gold, I have plenty, but I'll probably end up donating that. It's really weird to have those labor, and I don't have anything else. So yeah, hopefully this was entertaining for some of you, or informative of exactly what went down. I never intended this to actually happen. On another note, I ended up taking down my other video. I ended up privatizing it. That way nobody got confused about the raffle or was asking me about it or commenting on it or anything like that. So sorry you can't find it anymore. I just kind of took it down and said private. And this one will be out there for a little while, and then eventually turned into a private video, probably after like maybe a week or so. Mainly because I don't want this out there too long, and people, further criticizing me or my guild. Because when I was offering the initial raffle, I got a lot of people attacking me as a character, as being untrustworthy, not knowing what I'm doing, being an idiot, uh, not really thinking about my guild, being selfish, and I really could not stand the amount of attacks I got on that and criticism. So, and there were some people who really did step up to the plate and helped me out and defended me, but I couldn't have done it alone, and thank you so much for all your support that you have done. If you are watching this, make sure that you pat yourself on the back. You really did me a favor by defending me, because I was really feeling kind of at a loss at the amount of criticism I was getting from people in the Alliance. And another note is, I was part of the Alliance. I've been a part of the Alliance since, well, before we were in an Alliance. I was part of this guild. We went through some, guild leader changes, and I ended up becoming a guild leader eventually, because I was contributing pretty regularly, and I helped this guild grow. It is technically to me almost like a family, and sometimes you have to be harsh on your family, but at the same time, an alliance is supposed to be trustworthy just as much as the guild. But yet there were quite a few people who were totally not trustworthy of me. They could have taken a look at me, looked at my guild, and seen that I was a guild leader, but nobody even considered that. They thought I was doing it for personal gain, and I have no intention of doing anything for personal gain. There's no reason to, especially when I'm quitting. So what is the point of me personally gaining from anything? You know, I'm not going to take the money and run. It's just not how it works. So, uh, plus that would have put our guild in jeopardy with the alliance, and last thing I wanted was our guild being kicked out of the alliance because of this. So, again, I am sorry that if you were wanting to purchase a ticket beforehand and you're kind of waiting that you didn't get the opportunity. I'm sorry that that happened. I took it down because there just wasn't anybody really partaking. Uh, and I understand that, you know, maybe I did it quickly by taking it down, but at the same time, I thought about it for like a day or two because of the sheer amount. I was like, oh, I'll just give them like another day to see if I get any more. Um, and I ended up not getting a whole lot. Like I said, only 11. So I was hoping for a benchmark. My benchmark was like if I could get up to 20, and that just did not happen. 20 ticket purchases in the course of, you know, 4 days, you know, or 3 days or whatever, and that just didn't happen. So, and if I were to do one for like 80 tickets, and I got something around like two, I would do the same thing, you know, especially with that large of a prize, because at that point I was looking at something of waiting close to 6 months to fulfill the 600 tickets, and that's why I took it down. That's why I ended up stopping it and everything. It just wasn't going to happen, and if I put a time limit on that 600, I don't think I would have gotten up to even remotely close to what the items were worth, and I would have been kicking myself later on saying, well, I could have just sold the legendary pack and gotten enough diamonds to basically buy all the stuff that I wanted compared to uh, just selling tickets. So, at that note, uh, yeah, I'm probably going to sell the legendary pack. I haven't decided on what price yet. I've been kind of looking at the legendary pack because this thing goes around quite a bit. I mean, right now it's on default. That's why. I was like, right now they're sitting at about 16.2, which I bought mine for closer to 17.5. So I'm gonna wait on it or make a trade or something to figure out what to do with this because honestly, having this thing around, it's just kind of burning a hole in my pocket. Sort of like having a lot of money. But at the same time, this isn't money, it's just a legendary pack. So, we'll see what happens. And, I mean, it is one of the biggest factors in that previous raffle was this item. Primary focus. So, I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do with it. Right now I'm only at 620,000 diamonds. I'm going to buy some vouchers and the like. I've been selling everything that I can slowly but surely. It will take a little bit of time. I'm guessing probably, hopefully less than a week because 11.5 or 11B, whatever you like to call it, comes out next week. And I'm hoping that we can upgrade our guild up to 12 before then, because that'll make a hell of a difference on our guild. We'll be able to do master crafting and, master work armor. So that is the plan right now. So, again, if you are somebody who is watching this and you're not part of a guild, or you would like to join our guild, all you have to do is comment on this video and we will. I'll be in contact with you, and we'll set up a time to talk about you joining. Right now, we are kind of in need, so keep that in mind. Right now, we only have about 47 people. We're kind of lacking simply because, well, we had a lot of membership issues, and our only requirement is running influence, donating 800 influence a week. That is our only requirement. Um, and the reason why we keep it that low is because you can run 2 influence runs on 2 characters, so an influence run on each of those, and get 800 influence, or you can just simply log in one day with your main, do it, and then do it another day, or you could do a few encounters every day or every other day, whatever way you like to do it. I see a lot of people who donate like 250 to 350 every few days, and it adds up eventually. But I always like doing the solid 400 because then you know you only have to do 10 encounters in total over the course of 2 characters or 2 days. So, or you can even buy influence vouchers from the auction house if you really want to. I do not recommend it, but some people do it, and I have done it in the past. I bought like 103 influence vouchers about a week or so ago, and I donated them all to the coffer, just so we could try to rush to 12 a little bit easier. So everybody's doing their part, and when people slip up is when we lose members. So please do your influence, and if you're part of this guild already, make sure you're keeping up with your influence. And if you are, great, and I thank you in this live stream. Hopefully that was entertaining to some degree, and I know I rambled there at the end for a while, but I just wanted to point out a few things about what's going on with our guild. So hopefully that was fun. Thanks.